Hi friends, it is Friday the 23rd of June. I was going to actually head out this afternoon and kind of show you guys a couple of things. I was going to go to this one bakery that I really like, and then I was going to go to the VMFA, but after I got back from walking Avery and then having some lunch, more storms rolled in, and it's not raining real hard right now, but I really didn't feel like getting out in that. So instead I actually stayed home and have been getting something done that I needed. My poor little chase tree there. I haven't been working out in the garden very much either. A little bit in between the rain, but it's pretty soggy out there. So I was going to show you, I'm going to show you a couple of things here. This is sort of like a Friday afternoon ramble or something. So I have been getting ready to make the next sets of garden flags using these templates, which you won't be able to see very well. Well, I guess if I hold them up like that. I've got 7 of them. So these are going to be 7 set flags, and the fabric itself is 8 by 10, but the flags, once I fold over where the little channel for the cord for stringing them is going to go, they'll end up being almost square, like 8 by 8. But I think I have a nice set of templates here to use, and I've gotten all the fabric down to size. And what I do is I don't cut it. I want the sort of frayed edges on it, and I just pull out, you know, a little bit of the extra threads at the end. And then I need to sensitize all of these in cyanotype, so it ends up, this is what the fabric, you know, it ends up being like this, that blue. So the blue will be the background, and any of these templates will be white or light blue. So today I probably did enough flags to make maybe 3 sets, but I won't be doing that until we have more sunshine again, since I don't have a UV box. So that's one thing. And then I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to show you the black currant raspberry soda I made the other day. The fermented soda using a starter from my previous batch of soda. So here is the black currant raspberry soda, and it's hard to see in that bottle, but in this bottle you can see the color better in this one. Oh, well, kind of. Let's see. You can see pretty color. The effervescence, I think, is a little bit, it's not as forceful as my last one, I don't think. But it is effervescent, so let's see. So you can see the bubbles, it has little bubbles. And sometimes it's weird. Sometimes the sodas will be so active that the bubbles are like really big. That sounds really weird. But let's see. Let me put you down here for just a second. I probably should have you on a tripod, but I don't. So let me taste it. Yeah, you can feel I can see the little bubbles on the side, so maybe it's like champagne bubbles. I don't know, I'm being silly. But the flavor is really good. I don't know whether it's it's actually pretty well balanced between the raspberry and the blackcurrant. I'm trying to get to show you. There we go. So yeah, so it's pretty good. I'm pleased with this one. I like using fruit in these sodas as well as herbs, but this one was just some grated lemon rind. I don't think I used any lemon juice in it because the blackcurrants were really very tart. So yeah, I'm pleased with this batch. So, in keeping with being in the kitchen, I'm thinking about Rebecca's Motley Mondays. This is like what is this, a freewheeling Friday? I'm not very good with themes. Anyway, I had a decent collection of eggplant from the garden and some squash, zucchini and yellow squash. I don't have a super abundance of basil, but I have enough for what I want to make here. Actually, I should put some parsley in it too. Onion, garlic, roasted red peppers, and strained tomatoes. Can you guess what I'm making? It's a ratatouille or something like that. I don't have, well, like with almost anything, I don't have a very set recipe that I use, but this is pretty much what goes into it. I don't always use roasted red peppers or roasted peppers, but I don't have peppers from the garden, and I wanted to use as much stuff from the garden as I could, and I don't have tomatoes yet from the garden either. So this is what I'm going to make for dinner. And one other thing that I haven't showed you yet, unless you follow my blog, I have my first batch of brined pickles going with, there's some Persian cucumbers and then there's a couple of the Japanese cucumbers that were about the same, diameter as the Persian ones, but they were longer. So I've got those going, which is quite exciting. Onions and garlic. I know you're not supposed to put in garlic right away because it might burn, but I don't always follow that advice, and it usually doesn't burn because I don't really cook it all that high. And these I'm not worrying about browning the onions. I'm just getting them started before the eggplant. Put a little bit of salt on here. The eggplant goes in. I know, again, that there's the whole process of salting the eggplant first to take out the bitterness or something, but I have found that if my eggplant are homegrown and I pick them relatively young, it's not really an issue. I mean, yes, you'll probably have more liquid, but as far as this kind of fish, I don't mind it being a little bit more, having that sort of gravy. So I'll let these cook for a little bit with the lid on now, and then I'll get the zucchini ready. Next, the squash. We'll put the peppers. The peppers or the tomatoes or the basil until all this is cooked a little bit more. And I might put a little bit of red wine with it too, if it seems like it needs something more liquid, although there's a lot of liquid that's going to come out of the squash and the eggplant. And I like black pepper, so black pepper in there. So now we're going to put in the roasted peppers. And basil. And then some of the tomatoes. I'm not sure how much tomato I want in here. Obviously fresh tomatoes would be better, but like I say, I don't have them yet. And I think I'm going to put a little bit more wine in here as well. Yes, that is Prosecco, because you know, it's what I have that's open. As Rebecca might say, you know, witches don't waste. Baba Yaga wouldn't like that, right? Put a little bit more tomato in. More of the wine. I like cooking in cast iron too, because you can actually get some of the iron. And since I don't really eat meat. I mean, sometimes I do, but it's rare. But it's good for me to be aware of getting iron in my diet. This needs more salt. I love that bright green color of the zucchini, although it won't stay like that as this cooks, but don't like to let it cook too much longer after it's that color. I'm going to cover it up and let it simmer for a bit. So the last thing I'm going to show you as my ratatouille simmers away, I'm going to have it with a little bit of salad with some of my homegrown beets, pickled beets. If I had crusty bread, I'd have some crusty bread with it, but I don't, so I'll probably just have it in a bowl like a stew, I think, with a little bit of goat cheese on top. So I made, let me see, I don't know if I showed it on a video or if it was just in a blog. I made beet infused gin the other day by grating up a couple of my beets from the garden and pouring gin over it and letting it set for 24 hours and then straining. And the other day I made essentially a dirty martini with the beet gin, because I thought that the beet gin's kind of, it's very earthy, and I thought that the salty kind of vinegary pickles would be good with it, and it was. So I will show you how I do that. It's pretty basic. Just about just shy of 2 ounces of the beet gin. When I made this beet gin, I used botanist gin, but you can use whatever you want. I got the instructions for it from the Kachka cookbook. So there's that. And then about an ounce of dry vermouth. And then I did like maybe 2 or so bar spoons of the brine. And then I put 3 olives in my glass because I really like olives, and these are small olives. And then stirred it. I like to get it fairly dilute. I might stir it longer than some people do. Now, the gin has been in the fridge because it had raw beets in it. Maybe it doesn't need to be. And it's kind of warm, so I'm looking to see. Oh yeah. And there we go. That is such a pretty color. I love the color. I was thinking that this would be like a really great cocktail for Halloween, right? So anyway, that's it. I will say goodbye. I didn't really expect to do this video, but there you go. There's the ratatouille. I'm probably going to turn it off and just sort of let it settle. And I will be having my cocktail. Maybe I'll be reading a little bit. I'm really enjoying drawing down the moon, so. Oh, actually, I'll probably be editing this video, so. I hope you all have a wonderful Friday evening.